Hi there, savewith.crypto. Okay, so just going to look at EGLD, and I'll also do the farm rewards as well from the X exchange. But I'll just look at this trend line here. This one goes back to, when does it? March of this year sort of thing. This is like the 4-hour time frame. I suppose you got a couple of little fake outs there back in March, and then you got a touch there, touch there, touch there, touch there. And then look what's happened here. Start of last week, the price kind of went above this trend line, came back, tested that. Now that looks like it, changed from being resistance to support, which is good because it bounced off it again. It went there, came back down, and it bounced again. I think this is a really good sign, I think this is a sign that we might be seeing some increase in the price of EGLD in the near future. If you go back a bit more in time, sort of like on the 3-day chart, actually it goes much higher than that before it was on BitGet, but the price was as high as like 550 or so, which is more than the 10x from here. To see that again would be amazing, but I think it's quite feasible as well. The price could get more comfortable sort of up here, sort of like 165 to sort of 217, something like that. I think that kind of price is quite feasible when Bitcoin goes as high as it goes, which will probably be later this year or even early next year. But we'll have to see about that. So I think, it's going to be okay, EGLD. Now, there was this video on Friday, which is a live demo of sovereign chains, which, to be honest, I tried to understand and I just don't. I think it's because I'm not a developer, I'm not a builder. But it all seems to be quite good, I think. And, Benjamin, as usual, was sort of talking about things that I couldn't understand for a start, and but he seemed very enthusiastic about it all. So I think, well, whatever it is, that can only be good for the price of EGLD. If anybody knows anything about this, can they please leave a comment down below, because it's just way above my head. And I think that is the problem with a lot of MultiversX stuff. A lot of it seems just too complicated. And I've had a few comments about EGLD and the MultiversX ecosystem that I just want to mention. 13 days ago, Crypto Polar Bear said, a good game on EGLD or some gambling or better trading stocks. Gambling has never worked out for me. Trading stocks hasn't particularly either, but I don't really know much about that sort of thing. I do know a reasonable amount about EGLD, and I've been with the kind of MultiversX kind of ecosystem since the Elron days back in 2020, I think it was. So, I'm much more clued up on that. So I'm still keeping my money a lot in EGLD and EGLD-related tokens. I think in the peak of this cycle, I think it's all going to be good. I think if you've got something that is related to a viable company, I think it's all going to do well. Des Taxi here said today, starting to lose loose faith in all the EGLD ecosystem. Sad. Yeah, I must admit, everyone who says loose rather than lose do seem to feel like this. I don't know why that is, but anyway, I don't feel like that yet. Meltsmugum said, realistically, what price do you see ZoidPay hit in the bull run? I honestly see it going back to $1. I know it seems a long way from here, but it was there 2 years ago. I don't see why it can't go back there again. At the moment, people don't really have a reason to hold ZoidPay because there's no app yet. But I think once there is an app and people can see the advantages of holding ZoidPay, then I think it will be a very, very different situation. And it's also worth bearing in mind that ZoidPay won't depend on the MultiversX blockchain. Now, I know there are some surprises in store for that, but I believe going multi-chain is definitely a good way forward, which will, I believe, include Ethereum and I think it's Injective Protocol. Okay, so in this account here is currently $98.05 worth of liquid assets, mostly ZoidPay there, because that's what I swapped all the other odd bits like UTK into on Thursday when I did the meta bonding. So let's see what I get. So you can see I get $53 worth of XMEX there, $5 there. Okay, so there's 9 transactions assigned. Okay, so I was currently 178 in the Newton League with an energy of 3.805 trillion. So let's see what we get after the rewards are claimed. So as you can see, the position didn't move, but the energy increased from 3.805 to 3.823 trillion, which is okay. And you can see that the actual liquid assets barely increased at all, by about $1, I suppose, hardly anything. I also want to look at the meta staking, because I think there's a bit of UTK I can claim there. Yeah, there's 845 of UTK there, so harvest that. And I think what I'll do, I'll swap that UTK into ZoidPay, because ZoidPay is super cheap at the moment. And to be honest, I don't really know what's going on with UTK. So I'm going to swap that. Okay, so swap that UTK into ZoidPay, because I really do think when the app launches, the price of ZoidPay is going to increase quite a lot. So I'm just going to get as much of it together as possible. About the comment asking me how would I scale out of this system, the X Exchange and MultiversX, I think, to be honest, the problem I've got is these MEX EGLD farms, where if I was to sort of close that farm now and take apart the farm, I would have lost a lot of EGLD because the price of MEX has gone down a hell of a lot over 2 years. So I would end up sort of like losing quite a bit of money. But at the moment, these things are like earning XMEX. Now, XMEX won't unlock on its own for another 4 years. But the point being, starting in October 2027, you know, I'll get 10 grand's worth of XMEX unlocking then, or whatever it will be worth then. And then after that, there's like, you know, 275 a month, 395, 253. And I think these figures are going to be a lot higher by the time that year comes around. So I probably will just keep the farms going forever. And then I'll always be maybe doing something with the XMEX that I harvested 4 years ago, if you get what I mean. So I think the farms are going to stay like they are. The ZoidPay, I have a lot of faith in the future of ZoidPay. So the ZoidPay is going to stay like that. I'm not really going to cash any of that out unless I have to. I want that to be a steady income. However, what I might do is there's EGLD that I've got, which is currently in the Hatton protocol. It's about 300 EGLD. If that becomes worth, let's say, $1,000 per token, and that's worth $300,000, I think at that point I will seriously think about cashing that out, or at least swapping it into something like Bitcoin or even a stable coin, and then wait until the next Bitcoin crash and then buying a load more then. That's the kind of thing I'm thinking. I'm not thinking of some, you know, massive exit plan, but that's what I would do. I would keep the ZoidPay, keep the farms going on X Exchange, and consider cashing out the EGLD. I think that's a reasonably sound plan, but I'd love to know what you think. So please do let me know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, please do like the video and make sure you are subscribed. And also make sure you've got the little bell notification thing set on. But above all, tell your friends.